Thank you, Lokesh. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to this special edition of Productivity League hosted by V360.ai. I am Dr. Archana Tiwari, HR Head at V360.ai, and your moderator for today's session on the topic that's transforming how we work. The topic of today's discussion is redefining productivity, HR role in the hybrid work era. So, in today's dynamic landscape, where hybrid work is not just a trend but a norm nowadays, the question isn't just how we work, but nowadays it's like how well we work. And that's where the HR plays a vital role, from shaping the flexible policies to reimagining the employees' engagement and the performance metrics. HR has become the strategic driver of sustainable productivity. So we are thrilled to have with us today three incredible HR leaders who bring diverse experience and the fresh perspective to this conversation. So our first speaker of the session is Shivakrupa. She's a talent development manager at SQ1. So known for her innovative learning strategy and the people first approach. Welcome, Kripa. We are really grateful you have joined today's. You have accepted the request and you are here with us as a speaker. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Archana, and thank you V360.ai for giving this opportunity to share my knowledge. And also, big hi to all the participants and my fellow panelists who are out there.
Thank you so much. Krupa, I would request if you can talk more about your professional journey so that audience can better connect with.
Sure. So, very good morning, everyone. So, myself, Shivakrupa. So, I'm an techie turned HR. So, followed my ikigai to, do what I like. So, I strongly believe in every place is my home and everyone is my kin. So, with my experience in, as a techie and also in my journey of HR, I strongly believe that a good culture can actually, transform people and organization. And it can also bring in the culture of belonging and inclusivity. And from there, where wonders can happen. So apart from that, if you see my journey, I've been fortunate and blessed to work in entire employee life cycle, be it from onboarding, learning and development, and performance, and even worked as a business partner where able to work on data and also from onboard to exit of an employee. So this is my overall profile. So I believe that HRs are culture barriers who can empower employees to achieve or give their fullest potential at work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kripa. Now I would introduce the next speaker. So next speaker in the panel is Ms. Sumathy Srinivas. She's a HR manager at the Top and Merrill who brings deep expertise in the building agile HR frameworks for hybrid teams. So thanks for joining us, Sumathy. Pleasure hosting you today. So I would request you to please introduce yourself briefly with the audience.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, Archana and Lokesh and V360. And I'm Sumathy Srinivasan with overall 17 years of experience, out of which around 16 plus years of experience with Cognizant. So I started my profession with Cognizant and deep dive into different programs and associates life cycle. So exclusively, I worked with finance teams for their support functions and also handled a diversity inclusion exclusive program for the women associates in Cognizant. So from the scratch, I have initiated that program, and slowly I have made live into the program and helped out on more than 15,000 women employees when I was with Cognizant, and later I moved into Top and Merrill. Then currently I am as a leadership coach, as an HR leader, and sharing my expertise to the different categories of corporates, whether it is a college or wherever the support is required. I'm pitching in. I'm a leadership coach currently, and I'm also looking forward to support with other organizations to share my expertise. And my motto is to being into HR is to everybody has a potential. So I support them to bring their fullest potential, which will benefit as an individual, and also the potential will help for the organization to grow together. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm wishing best luck for the other panelists and for the participants too.
Thank you so much, Sumathy. Nice, wonderful thought, I would say. So, next panelist in the line is Mr. Malolan. So, he's Associate Manager Talent Acquisition at Altimetrik. So, who has been instrumental in redefining the hiring and engagement practices for today's digital workforce. So, thanks, Malolan. Thanks for joining us today. I would request Malolan if you can introduce yourself briefly with the audience. You are in mute. You're in mute. You have to unmute yourself. Malolan, you are on mute. Still, you are on mute. You have to unmute. We can't hear you. No, you're on mute. Still, you are on mute. Can you please unmute yourself? No, not audible. All right, all right, all right. No problem. You take your time so that we can start move ahead with the session, and you can fix it meanwhile. So due to some technical glitch, Manohar is unable to unmute himself. No worries. Okay, so together we'll dive into how HR is balancing the empathy with efficiency, how productivity is being measured beyond just outputs, and how hybrid models are reshaping the talent development. So I encourage everyone to stay engaged, ask questions in the chat, and take full advantage of rich knowledge this panel has to offer. So let's get started. So. Sumati, I would like to, start with you. So, if you can, just to start the session, if you can talk about, you know, uh, before the 5 years, if I talk about when you have started the journey as a HR, the hybrid work culture was not there, and productivity was also doesn't mean the same thing. What we have observed in the last 5 years. So, what is your perspective here? If you can, talk about this.
See, actually, I'm fortunate to share before this COVID or this kind of hybrid model, I got an opportunity to work in hybrid prior to this COVID. So it was not like Zoom calls or like that, because prior to that, also in our organizations where I worked, we had a communication channel to communicate effectively, like we called a communicator. Then slowly it got changed into Skype and then Teams. So slowly everything got transformed as per the technology. So when I got an opportunity to work on hybrid, it's basically the opportunity which I have received, because basically to see how best we can balance work and life. As a woman, as a person nowadays, taking care of as an individual is becoming more important, rather than only working for an organization. If the person is happy, then he will be able to give more productive to the organization. So if I have to say, the trend has changed. So when we have given that opportunity earlier in hybrid also, we were able to balance the work life in a much easier and a comfortable way. So I would say this is a very good model, and many people are fortunate to get that earlier. And the best challenge as an organization, I would say, is like how we can handle employees when we are giving that hybrid pattern. So it's basically how we what is our intention when we give hybrid model. What is our intention when we give that in our mind as an organization, what we want to give it to the employees, and the employees also know what I can make best out of this with a hybrid model, even if it is 5 years or in going future, how what is I'm going to plan. If they keep that in their mind, right, so it will be easy for them to bring that outcome very quicker and easier for both the win-win situation as an employee and as an employer. So that's how I would see, even if it is like a prior, basically the intention. What is why that hybrid was given and what is that's going to happen in future.
Correct, correct. So, Kripa, I would also request you to, please add some points here. I mean, what kind of a trend you have observed regarding the productivity during your journey in the last 5 years?
Right. So, as we say, we can split as pre-COVID and post-COVID. So, pre-COVID is the typical work from office, where you clock in for 8 or 9 hours, and you maintain the time and you also get work done, etc., etc. So now post COVID, we were in work from home. Some now from work from home, we have moved to a hybrid setup. What is different before and after is definitely the first thing I would like to quote is outcome. So, outcome is more important now rather than maintaining time. What you work and what you deliver, and measuring the outcome has become an priority rather than where you typically work. So that's a first change that I could see before and after, or in the last 5 years. And the second thing is the biggest challenge that every HR or every culture barriers or leaders faces. Any employee experience initiatives, be it learning interventions or be it employee engagement initiatives, all the activities need to be planned around the hybrid model. It should be accessible both online and offline. So though it offers flexibility for the employees, we need to work around the logistics and other things properly. That's number two, which I've seen. The third one is wellness has become a very important and a mandate thing, especially when we work at the hybrid work environment, and the employees are also expecting that, be in terms of mental wellness and physical wellness. So the emphasis is more out there from the employees. So I think these are the three areas majorly. In my opinion, I can see a difference.
Yeah, very, very, I mean, correctly, narrated by you that, we have divided nowadays, the two eras, the pre-COVID and the post-COVID era. And yes, after post COVID era, a lot of emphasis on going on the wellness. So actually the HRs are more concerned, or the organizations are more concerned about the wellness of the employees. Even people are also conscious, because they know that time is very unpredictable. People have observed a lot of issues, the challenges they faced during the COVID. So yeah, truly narrated by you. Malolan, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
that's wonderful. That's
Thank you so
wonderful.
much.
Yes, yes, I
I'm
can.
really sorry,
I
unfortunately, uh, my laptop, started, behaving improperly. Hey guys, Malolan here. I come with, 15 years of experience with, this PX side. So initially kickstart with the talent development and pitched into the recruitment and staying with the recruitment for more than a decade now. And seen multiple stages of recruitment, and now as one of my colleague in the dias has clearly informed about the pre-COVID and the post-COVID scenarios. Yes, it has a lot of changes. Now we are talking about the well-being, productivity and recruitment, and it's going to the HR trinity in the hybrid era. So previously, we used to call as a perk. It doesn't be part of anymore, and employee well-being has become a strategic pillar into recruitment and engagement as well. So when I come to recruitment, and people used to call us a recruiter or a TA manager. Nowadays, people started calling us an enabler to guardian of balance. So which means that we clearly describe about how the work-life balance of that particular company, then we are promoting the skills or a role that we are currently hiring for, and that's how it is going to be now.
Correct, correct, correct. So, yeah, so that's a right thing. After the COVID, a lot of things have changed. Even in the the field which we are working on, the maybe in the recruitment and all. So nowadays the trend has changed. People are actually looking for the hybrid kind of a thing, or the remote, and they are very upfront in saying that. Even I have observed that while talking to some of the candidates, they are actually they're ready to compromise their with the packages we are offering, if we are providing the kind of a remote opportunity to them. So that kind of a things are happening here. So Krupa, I would like to understand from your point of view, like you were, your emphasis was on the employee well-being. So employee well-being has become a key focus in the recent years. We all have observed that. So how do you see the connection between the well-being and the productivity, especially in the hybrid work environment?
So to answer your question, obviously, when we say hybrid, they spend some time from home, and of course, long work hours, from home has become very common, because when we are at office, we used to be in bay, we can go quickly connect and get work done. This is probably, reach out people, ping them through Teams or internal communication channel, probably wait for their time and catch up. So it's going to be a little bit time taking. So if we can expect that extended work hours naturally when you're doing a collaborative work, which would lead to a burnout sitting in front of the system. So that is where wellness play a crucial role in terms of how to manage long work hours. Probably if they are able to spend some time for their physical and mental well-being. So these are the areas where employees are expecting the HRs to help out. There are some organization where they offer gym reimbursements as a wellness initiative. So there are organization in my very own organization, the previous organization which we were offering yoga and Zumba sessions for them, and interested people can enroll and participate both in the online and offline mode. So if they are office, they can take from office. If not, they can take online. So they are looking out, especially the meditation is something a lot of people were interested in, because they would be more anxious sitting in front of the screen, and then again they have to juggle and come back to work at home, especially it was more tougher for women employees, right? So they have to manage a home, and in between kids, family members, they have to attend and immediately sit in the call, and they should also complete the work. So I remember a lot of women employees coming out and asking if there is a meditation session, can I work on any session that we can bring to them on work life balance, especially when there is a work from home. So these are the initiatives that they've been asking for, and typically instead of HRs planning out on what they need, it is better to take inputs from the employees based on their need, and giving them experience matters more, and it is more successful and helpful.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. I mean, instead of imposing something on that where people are not ready to take that, so better ask them. And yeah, that was a challenge many people face. There was a blurring line between the work and the actually personal life and professional life. So that was a challenge during the COVID. A lot of people have faced, and yeah, definitely. So, Sumati, my next question is for you. That's very interesting question, which is coming up for you. So when people are working, when it is a hybrid kind of a work mode or the remote kind of a the mode they have opted for. So collaboration can be tricky when people are working from the different places. Maybe they are in the different states. They are not meeting physically. So have you seen any the creative or the surprising strategy that really brought teams together and boosted a synergy in the the virtual or the hybrid model?
See, what we practiced and what I would recommend is like, see, when as the teams they are working, when in a hybrid or in a virtual, understanding their responsibilities becomes the first, because when we work as a team, as a project, the other person should know what is their other roles and responsibilities. It should be a friendly communication as a team leader or a project leader should keep them engaged, connect sessions with them so that they know each other individual and where they can support each other. So I would recommend some options where it's like they can connect online, for example, 12 to 1 o'clock or 11 to 1 o'clock. Everybody will be connecting through a Zoom meeting or through whatever the communication channel and organization. They can be in their cameras and they can work and they can connect like how they can work in an office atmosphere. So they have to plan accordingly, so that as a woman, when you see challenging work, home and the work at home is becoming very challenging, because they have to manage everything together, even for a male also. So planning their schedules, example like 11 to 1, she will be working or he is working from home. Also other dependents in the home should not disturb them, so they will be in the camera and they will be working for the project for 2 hours every week, like 4 hours or 5 hours. They can plan accordingly, so that we can also fully productive with the work, where we can connect and talk how we connect in person. So that those kind of things they can connect, and simply a connect session, nothing out about a project, general talk. So they can plan something weekly once, that will help them to relax, and they can also feel free when they talk about other stuffs other than the project with their team members. And there will be no hierarchy in this meeting. Hey, let's the meeting get started. So it should be a very casual and a formal kind of a chat which they can. And with the fun fact, we can also start doing a goal tracking and the goal setting for a year, and how the evaluation has done. Evaluation they can do one by one, but as a team, they can connect together and, hey, this is the goal, this is what I'm planning to do, and this is what we can do for the project. Like a complete a goal oriented for a project, also kind of a similar meetings through the video, which have to be make it as a mandate to connect and talk. Because currently, since it is a hybrid, lots of advantages, pros and cons are there. But when you see a person, when you talk with that expressions and the body language, it means a lot when they connect with the person, even if without a camera. Even in the current meeting, when I'm switching off my camera and I'm talking, what you will be able to relate? Nothing. You can just hear. You will not be able to see what I'm trying to intend, even if I'm not sharing what I want to intend, but my body language shows what I want to. So that in-person connect, when we are missing in the office, at least through virtual, we have to make it as a mandate in the organization, so that people will start connecting with each other, and the target of getting into the project completion becomes very quicker and easier. And even when they meet on the next weekend, no next week, for an in-person meeting, they will not see any difference. So some kind of a plan and schedules, if has the organization, if they plan and implement, surely this is going to impact as a project wise, as a business, and also as a well-being. So we can tackle both these two things, because connecting with people becomes very challenging. Seeing them smile and say hi is becoming a challenging for everybody, since it's going hybrid or virtual. So first is, I would say, understand each other, connect with who are they from the team, whether it is an experienced or whether it is a new joinee. That connection, if it has happens automatically, they everything will set in place.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea where, team catch up daily. And, apart from the planning, apart from the, project related tasks, if there is, some informal time also where people can chit chat. So obviously they can give them, kind of a feel that, they are in office. And truly, said by you that, yeah, that's a problem that people are missing those connections. I mean, in office when, there's a time for try pe charcha, so that kind of a thing is actually missing in, remote or the, kind of a hybrid work environment. So thank you for your input, Sumathy. Yeah. So Malolan, my next question is coming to you. So that's a very interesting question, which is coming from the audience. That there is a, we often talk about the mindset shift. So whenever there are new ways of working, there are new style of doing something. So there is always a mindset shift when adopting a new ways of working. So what kind of a mental and the cultural shift do you think organization and the leaders need to make to truly, embrace the hybrid work?
Okay, that's a very interesting question to know to answer this. So, culture and consistency, when there is going to be a new culture that needs to be adopted from the top bottom approach. Rather than saying, work for 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week, let the leaders understand the reality of a work and uh, let them also understand the reality of a work-life balance as well. Even the owner of the company, he has a responsibility to take the company to the next level is a secondary question. But if you understand the pulse of each and every employee, what the candidate expect before joining the company, it's all about the value-based hiring. For example, I'm telling them, so recruitment is aligned with the values. It's not only with the skills. And when you come for onboarding as a cultural immersion, it's not only about just a company policies. but it's all about the company personality as well. So considering the due factors, when there is going to be a cultural shift which is planned to implement across the organization, it needs to come from the top bottom approach where people will understand the reality of the concepts. So once if you understand the reality of the concepts, then it will easy for any of the HR to make it as a practice and then implement till the bottom layer of the organization.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, organizations have to make them ready. I mean, whatever the cultural shift is happening, so organization have to, make the employees ready for that kind of a mindset. They have to prepare themselves. That is a very important part. And even the leaders also have to know because, when you are actually sitting, I mean, when you are sitting together and we are, actually away. So that's, sometimes leaders or the managers also face certain issues, certain problems. So obviously
And
that kind
one
of a
more
shift.
point, see, regular rituals, having a daily stand-ups or virtual coffee hours. So if you start introducing as a regular stand-up of coffee hours, rather than, if you tell in a different approach of storytelling sessions from leadership, that gives the way that, really helps for the swift change of a culture. So this particular concept will definitely help us to understand the better value of the company, as well as all the employees will understand what is the reality of the culture is all about.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, Shiv Kripa, I would request if you can also add something here that, about the cultural shift and the mindset shift. What were your thoughts here?
Sure. I would say a three type approach. So the first one is communicate. The second one is educate, and third one link it with metrics. So if you see, it is very important to speak about the ways of working of the organization to the employees. As Malolan was telling, it should be a more of a top down approach where we educate, though we communicate, the real catch is to educate. So, coming to education and exposure, doing sessions on culture or ways of working for managers and leads who typically has a team member to handle is one part, and another part is to communicate and educate the executive and associates who are the frontliners of your organization. So it is very important that both of them work in both the groups work in synergy. So the communication and the education and exposure about the ways of working of the organization is very important. Not just stopping there. This will help to reinforce it as a practice from both the ends. And also, we should definitely work on it. Is not about communicating and educating them. It is very important that you measure the outcome of the communication and the education or a workshop that you have done. So it is very important that updating these as performance metrics to reflect outcomes, not just as attendance or not attendance, what I'm talking about, but as an outcome is very important to understand what is the thing that has gone to them and how you can further tweak it, because it's all about Kaizen, and you really need to work and improvise until that is being reached to every other employee in the nook and corner of the organization. So this would be my take.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, Sumati, my next question is for you. That's a very interesting question. People want to talk about the future. I mean, our audience wants to know about the future. So, I mean, hybrid seem like it's here to stay. I mean, that's the mindset with people have. I mean, they have adopted that particular thing, and people are so happy. They're enjoying that kind of a shift in the working model. So, how do you think that HR should prepare their organizations and the people for the future where hybrid is not just an option but it's a default kind of a mode of work? So, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so it's going to stay here and it's going to be the future. So when you think about it, we have to start from the scratch. So from the employee life cycle, we have to start because from the time the employee is becoming a candidate, when they are a candidate and then become an employee, the process starts before the pre onboarding. So from the time everything is becoming on hybrid, we have to start seeing until their employee life cycle how it's going to impact, because it's going to be a hybrid fully from the time the recruitment. Once we onboarding is happening through a virtual mode, because earlier when you see the mindset is day one we have to report at the office in the specific timing, some onboarding formalities happens, and then we get to know about the project, then we get to the respective supervisors, process KT and everything happens, but everything is going to be online and everything is going to be a quick and fast than what was happening in physical. Moving from a different location, if it is a multiple location office, we have to move from one location to another. So everything is going to be, but right now it's going to be in the same seat, you will be connecting with different people and different process and putting together, and outcome is also becoming fast, and the expectations also set become fast. So when you think about it, if you see about the current, right, future and the current, future is going to be little more faster because technology is going as fast than what humans is doing currently. So we have to think about the future, what we can do best by now itself. So when we have to start doing and start from the employee life cycle and understand how best we can do all those from the remote, the learnings or whatever the e-learning patterns and everything is going to be like an from the virtual. So everything is going to be a system monitoring how we can do that with that existing technology. So we have to be more advanced, and also the culture. See, when you see as an organization, in person connect, the culture was different. And when you build into a digital, it is completely a different. So culture doesn't live in offices anymore. So it's going to live in the behaviors, how HR is going to impact every employees through their communication, through their behaviors, through their response, through their feedback, how we are going to impact or how we are going to respond on their feedback. So that's how it's going to be challenging for the HRs also, how quickly we are going to reply for that employee's feedback. And also the competencies, right? So when you see about earlier it is swipe in and swipe out through the access card, and now we have to update the true time and updating the systems manually and everything. So we can't hereafter we can't do too much of micromanaging, where we have to put some transparency and conviction or confidence with that employees once we assign a project or an work to the employees. So also in future we can also buddy up with the kind of a same project people to connect together and work together. So it will be like cross functional learning, and also the outcome of the project will also can be quickly done because everything has been expected so fast. And we have to start doing an employee listening. See, when we had in-person sessions where the feedback is heard and it's been seen in person. But what we have to do here as an HR going forward for the employees, when we have to hold them for a long time to make them to understand what the organization's vision and mission, we have to start hearing. We have to slow down and we have to go in depth about what they want to share, what we want to uh, what how we can implement what they are sharing. Because if you see the future generations, they are too much knowledgeable, they know multiple things and they can do wonders. So we have to understand what kind of skills we can take from them and what we can implement as an organization. And if we stop hearing the employees, they are not going to work for us. So we have to double down our employee listening, and we have to start doing flexibility. Oh, this is what if you see when Malan said 8 hours or 9 hours in an office, it's not going to work out. Even when we were physically working, we were not working for completely 8 hours. Our physical presence was there, but now physical presence is not going to be there, and only virtual. So as I said earlier, we can connect and talk, and when we like a specific timings, we can plan and design the flexibility. Whatever be the timing, finish your work. This is your target. So this is how you can how innovation you can bring in the productivity, or how you can help your team members to bring multiple things to be done together. That's how we have to think for the future with this hybrid pattern, and create wonders with whatever be the situations. We can bring that kind of different things going in future. So we, as an leaders who have been in the industry for 20 years or more than 20, we also should equip along with them how quickly we can adapt all the technology. So this is challenging for the existing leaders as well.
Yeah, correct, correct, correct. So handling the Gen Z and obviously we have to adopt the new technologies and kind of a flexible mode and yeah, that shift is required and Subhati very rightly said by you. Obviously, there is always, I mean, the learning learning is always a ongoing process. So if somebody is having 2 decade, 3 decade of experience, then obviously because of the changing pace, because of the kind of a mode of changing work culture, the patterns, they have to adopt the technologies so that they can also run along with the the remaining workforce of the organization. Very, very well noted by you. Thank you so much. So, Malaran, my next question is for you. As I mean, Subhati was talking more about the technology and all. So nowadays we have a lot of digital tools in play. AI is also there. So how can HR help in prevent burnout and the digital fatigue while still enabling the high performance?
Oh, that's a very interesting question to answer this. To be very honest, see, everything is, we are talking on the numbers. So when you talk on the numbers, let's have the realistic data in hand. Before you pitch in, you need to, understand how the descriptive analysis, helps here. If you can able to, find the key factor of what is your problem, then, the repetitive of things, will not be a regular challenge. For example, as I told you earlier, from enabler to guardian of balance. So, if you find out or figure out a new policy or a new set of a data, when you scrap the data from the scratch, and if you have a tool of audits to be performed on a daily activity, then audit tool fatigue, our team will not be having any burnout issues. For example, if you consider recruitment, everything into the recruitment, completely, based on the numbers. When you are, L1 and L2 in the timeline, or the rejection ratio, or the schedule ratio, and the success stories, so everything, if you started, looking at the long term perspective of a data, then, you can be able to, handle the burnout issues at some point of a time. So it's better to, pre-equip ourselves and keep the data ready and keep the uh, uh, entire tool set ready. For example, if you talk about v360.ai, I went through a personal demo of this particular, audit. But, then, I can able to, understand certain point. Uh, Each and every segmented audit reports is completely, genuine. So when we track this particular numbers on a daily basis, definitely, this will create a positive impact. So let's talk on the realistic data, and let's see, how we can able to, implement that on a right time, so that, we will avoid this burnout issues.
All right, thank you, Malul. Your voice was not very clear to me. I mean, I lost you in between. So maybe some background
Am I
noise was
audible
there.
now?
Yes, it is clear. Now it is clear. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
So
point, which I have highlighted is, let's have a clear cut data. So everything is all
yeah,
about data. When you talk on the
correct.
metrics, we need to have a proper metrics on the place to enhance the productivity as well as the work life balance factor.
Definitely, definitely. No, that's a, the very correctly said by you that yeah, definitely the data can help the people to understand when it is about the hybrid work mode. Then obviously the proper data can give you the proper insight because as a manager, if you are sitting at the different locations of the country, then obviously the data can tell you the real picture so that you can also, I mean, we are as a HR, we are not analyzing the data anytime just to pinpoint anyone, but we try to see where we can help the employees where we can support them to improve the performance. So I mean
Exactly.
the never that thought is never there in the mind, so that different mindsets we are having as a as a HR, as organizations, right? So definitely. So my next question is coming to you, Kripa. So Kripa, I mean, in the I mean, when we talk about the I mean, the hybrid work environment or the remote kind of a culture, then a lot of flexibility is there. I mean, because people are working from home, they are having certain household work, they are actually working there also, and for the organization also. So the flexibility is a major plus of the hybrid work, but it is also raises the challenge of accountability. So how do you think the HR leaders can strike the right balance between the giving the autonomy to the people while maintaining the performance standards? So what are your thoughts here?
Right. Very interesting question, and this has been a biggest challenge for all now. So, to answer your question, this is something that I have personally implemented for myself, because whenever you're working in a virtual environment, you need a lot of self drive, right? Which is very important. You need to stay motivated, etc. So, the system, or the framework I suggest is OKR, which is objective and key results. So jot down this OKR is very flexible enough to even fix it however you want. Like it can be for a week, it can be for a fortnight. Have 3 or 4 objectives that you or your team wants to accomplish, and 2 to 5 key results for each objective which you can work, and give a very genuine and very give a very genuine timeline to your team to work on it. Have weekly or fortnightly reviews to track. So what happens in the structure is it gives you accountability as well as flexibility. Let's say Wednesday I'm working from home, and somebody at my home is not well, and I have to accompany them to an hospital. So probably I want to cut short the day. Yes, you can still go ahead. But whereas I've set everything, and today I'm going to start my work earlier, and you can stretch and work on a Thursday and Friday, and you can complete it within a week or fortnight, whatever is stipulated for OKR. So this OKR actually framework gives you the accountability and more transparency. In terms of coming to your managers or leads, it is very important that we train them and we coach them to enable this OKR, which is very important to bring out the success of the framework. And also it brings feedback culture, where we always encourage people to have career conversation every 3 months once, not just on the day of appraisal or when the appraisal comes in. So I keep telling um, my customers, who are typically my employees, to go have a career conversation, jot it and keep it. Please don't come on the day of the appraisal. So it's a yearly plan. So similarly, this OKR enables you a feedback culture to understand where you actually are, and where you have completed. It gives that flexibility, accountability, and transparency. So leaders can also avoid micromanagement. So everything is documented. It is maintained as a data, as Malolan was telling, and as Sumathy was also quoting. They can have a connect where they can discuss. So I think that's a very beautiful framework that helps to solve the problem of accountability, and also they can utilize the flexibility that is being given.
Yeah, definitely. If I mean the clear OKRs are defined, then obviously we can track the people on the base of their performance. So that kind of a flexibility we can offer with the hybrid and virtual work mode. And yes, if yes, the data speaks a lot of things. So based on the data, we can I mean understand that where the things are not going on the track, and how we can resolve those issues. So thank you so much, Kripa. So, Sumati, my next question is for you. So, because a lot of young generation, young minds joins our session. They also try to understand that what's happening in the current world. So, Sumati, what would be your advice if you are mentoring a young HR leader who is stepping into the hybrid work world? And so, what kind of skills or the mindset you would advise them to have or to develop to stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah. So when we are mentoring a young HR leader, so in this hybrid reality, it's not about just you are managing the change. You are just designing the future of work. So your intention matters in every interaction what you do with those young HR leaders. So I would like to share some skills and mindsets which will really help as a leader when we are guiding the future HR leaders. So we have to be as in we have to be digitally fluency. So and total agility also we should be. We should not we not it's not required that we should be a techie guy, but we should know where we can tweak the process and how we can bring that uh, outcome quicker and easily. So as a leader, we should be a digital fluency, and we should know how we can break the process and make some changes so that it can easily quicker get into that work done. And also it should be a outcome oriented, not always as a problem oriented. So when we teach them or guide them, the young HR leaders, we have to always see the problem as not a big thing. So we have to see, think about the solution, how we can bring your mind into the solution oriented, outcome oriented thinking. And also right now empathy plays a major. When I said we have to double tone the listening, there has an HR leaders, when they are becoming, the empathy matters a lot. It's not a sympathy, it's a empathy. So empathy with the boundaries during this remote world, understanding each other becomes a superpower. Empathy is one of the best and the best way to connect with that employees, because as a leaders when they are becoming, it's not only for them to be a leader, it's to guide the organization and to guide every individual. And also the communication matters a lot when you, because we learned lots of communication techniques: assertive, strong communication, clear, concise, precise, everything. But as a leader, how we communicate with them, how we show with them, how we hear, how we talk with them matters a lot. And also the adaptability, because as already I shared, as a person, how we are quickly getting into that adaptability to understand what are the challenges, how they should focus, what changes they have to bring into the process, and how they can adapt. Because as before 5 years there was no hybrid, but now it is in this, and future we are not sure whether the office setups will be there or not. So we have to be quickly adaptive and think what is going to be in future, how we can to strategically adapt the latest technologies and the human behaviors also, and to bring together to make this organization grow. So it's a culture curator, and you have to influence the culture every day with whatever the interactions you're doing with the employees. When you are creating such great leaders, how you speak, how you behave matters a lot when we are creating and mentoring the HR leaders. So we should be walk and talk. It should not be like only in the system or in the policies and process. This is are the criteria. These are the designations. No, as a person, how you showcase yourself with them matters a lot when they want to become a leader in their organizations.
Correct, correct, correct. So, Krupa, I would also request you to, add some points here. Like, if you are mentoring any young, HR leader or budding HR leader, so what would be your suggestion that what kind of a, mindset or what kind of a must-have skills they should possess? You're on mute, Krupa. Krupa, you're on mute.
HR are not am I audible?
Now you're audible. Now you're audible.
Yeah. So I always say my team members and colleagues that no, HR are not just
Can you hear me, Sumathy?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, okay. So Malolan, meanwhile, Krupa is fixing the technical glitch. Maybe she is having the network issue at her end. So Malolan, can you please I mean add on some points here that if you have to mentor any young HR leader, then what would be your advice? What kind of must-have skills they should possess?
See, when you talk on that particular aspect, I wanted to start with this point here. I mean, initially people were focusing on EVP, and now slowly the trend has changed into IVP. So when you look at the long-term plans, when you talk with Gen Z or the millennial kids, you need to be aware of the trends what they currently use with. So not only into the technological aspect, you need to think on that particular way to adopt yourself, so that you nowadays you cannot push any of your employees like olden days. You need to do this work and you log off. That particular aspect or the category or the culture is not prevailing currently. So it is all about how you manage and how pat on the back with your current team. Whether it's going to be a Gen Z, you cannot make them sit for 4 5 hours at the whole stretch complete the activity. Rather than if you still motivate them to understand the reality and tell them what is it happening, how the whole functionality is happening. For example, I can tell you with with the example of a recruitment. So when you talk with the recruitment, in nowadays, people focusing on numbers and searching the candidates from the forum only with the skill words. Rather than, if you teach them, what is the architecture and how you wanted to, relate with that particular architecture, the interest towards learning that really helps them to, to grow their career in a better way. Hello.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Krupa, now the internet is stable at your end. So if you can also add on here and if you can also, add some points where what would be your message or your guidance for the young leaders who are aspiring to become, HR managers.
So always tell my team members that HR are not just note takers; we are cultural enablers. So first thing first, that should be kept in mind. So when you say you're a cultural enabler, it is very important that you just don't do HR, but you also understand what business is. So that's very very important. So as Sumathy was telling, adaptability comes next. So there will be different needs and different tasks where you need to adapt and question. So it is very important where you just don't build network but also build relationships with your stakeholders. Is second thing I would like to insist to my young HR people from whatever learning I had. So the third thing is stay curious, keep learning, keep updating yourselves for the evolving time and the evolving need. So I think these three things are very important as a pointers or a component to match up or speed up with the ever changing need that is being there right now.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So a lot of inputs. I'm sure the budding HRs who are actually aspiring to I mean become a HR leaders in the future. All three of you have given the very nice advice to them how they have to prepare and what path they have to choose. So let me conclude this session. So I must say that the session was full of insightful conversation and. The very I would say that heartfelt thank to all our panelists Krupa, Sumathi, and Malul for sharing such a thoughtful real world insights and how HR is playing a transformative role in today's hybrid work culture. So from driving purpose driven performance to align the business goals and the flexible people strategy, it is very clear that the HR is no longer just a support function, but we are at the heart of the workplace innovation. So, as we heard today, productivity in the hybrid era isn't about micromanagement, it's about empowerment, how you are empowering people. So it's about using the right tools, creating the right kind of a culture, and building the trust across every level of the organization. So thank you, all the speaker. Thanks to the audience for joining us today and asking the interesting questions. So thank you so much, Krupa. Thank you, Sumathy, and thank you, Malolan, for joining us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
It
so
was
much.
Thank you so
wonderful.
much,
The
Krupa.
questions which you posted, it was nice for the current generation when everybody is getting confused how I can manage. So I think really these questions and the thoughtful answers given by all of us would have help in some way or the other so that they can implement in their work-life balance. So thank you, and thank you, Malolan and Shivakripa. Nice to be with along with the panelists. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you so
Archana.
much, Sumathy.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Archana. Thank you, Shivakrupa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Krupa.
so much, all the speakers. Thanks. So at V360.ai, we remain committed to enabling that journey by equipping the HRs and the business leaders with the intelligence insight that help the team thrive no matter where they work from. So thank you to all our attendees for your time, energy, and active participation. Let's continue to learn, adopt, and lead with purpose. So until we meet again in the next edition of the Productivity League, stay curious, stay productive. Thank you so much. So I, Archana Tiwari, would like to sign off today. Bye bye. Take care, everyone.